Okay. Okay, my dear students, to support you further, what is in chapter 1 under the heading accounts from incomplete records? I want to revise the things entirely. One meaning is given. One meaning. What is the meaning of incomplete records? The accounts which are prepared under incomplete records consider only the personal and cash accounts only. The real and nominal accounts are not given any importance and not at all they are recorded. That you should remember. Then, what are its features? The features are I shall quote some of the important features. One, only one aspect of the transaction is entertained and the other aspect is left out, and again the same meaning what is given, and here the personal and the cash accounts are maintained, other accounts are not entertained, not the importance is given. Then the third one, limitations. What is given under limitations? Limitations, otherwise we can call it even drawbacks. Since the accounts are prepared by giving importance only to personal and cash accounts, this type of or this method of preparing accounts are not beneficial to very big concern. This is only useful to the small traders. Second thing, it is not acceptable by the tax authorities or the government concerned. And regarding the fourth one, differences between complete records and incomplete records. That is, the differences between single entry system and double entry system. What are the differences? Main single entry system or the incomplete records only that gives the picture on the personal account and cash account, whereas in double entry system or complete records we attend all the three types of accounts: personal, real and nominal. This single entry system or incomplete records is useful to find the profit or loss of a small concern, whereas for the big concern this method is not useful. They follow only double entry system. And the third important difference is the tax authorities accept the double entry system or that is the complete records, whereas the single entry system or incomplete records, following those rules, if the accounts are prepared, the authorities will not accept it. And these are all the important theory points on this chapter. And regarding the problems, there are two types. One, problems are of two types. One, the statement of affairs method. Other one is the preparation of final accounts, and this is called the conversion method. Conversion method. Under this statement of affairs method, we find the profit or loss of the concern. For that we are using a format that is closing capital and drawings less additional capital we will get adjusted capital. With the adjusted capital, we compare opening capital, and finally, if from this is minus the profit, from this is minus, we get loss. Therefore, profit or loss we get. In this, if profit or loss is asked, you can do continuously 1, 2, 3, and these 4 items are given, we can find the 5th item. Instead of giving in the order the items, if these 2 are given and these 2 are given, then suppose you are supposed to find out the additional capital. What we have to do? Those types of problems are also given there. Finally, there is a third method. 1. Finding the profit or loss, we require closing capital, opening capital, drawings, additional capital. In some sums, these drawings and additional capitals will be given, but the closing capital and the opening capitals are not available. If they are not available, what we will have to do? We will have to prepare statement of affairs in the beginning of the year to find the opening capital, and we will have to prepare another statement of affairs at the end of the year, which is otherwise called closing capital, we must find. So, these types of problems, which is otherwise called statement of affairs method, is used to find the profit or loss of the business approximately. This is one method. Then there is another method, conversion method or final accounts method. What are the different accounts prepared under it? Bills receivable, bills payable, total debtors account, total creditors account, and statement of affairs, and finally trading, profit and loss account, and balance sheets. These are all the things coming under this second method. This bills receivable account is prepared to know the bills receivable received. This bills payable account is prepared to know the bills payable accepted. And what for this total debtors is prepared? This is bills receivable received. Here to know bills payable accepted. This total debtors account is prepared either to know credit sales or balance carried down, closing balance of debtors, closing balance of debtors. The same thing for total creditors. This is used to find credit purchase or the same balance carried down, that is the closing creditors at the end of the year, balance carried down, these two. And if no opening capital is given in the problem, if no opening capital is given in the problem, we will have to prepare the statement of affairs, opening capital. And after finding these things which are prepared, we are coming to trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. This is the last stage. See, 2, 4, 5 plus 3, 8 there are. Should we prepare all the 8 items in all the problems? No. If you are asked to find bills receivable account and bills payable account, you can prepare, or else you need not. If you are asked to find the total debtors account, total creditors account, you will have to prepare, or else you need not. But this statement of affairs will not be asked, but at the time of preparing the trading profit and loss account balance sheet, especially the balance sheet, we require the opening capital. To know the opening capital, we should prepare statement of affairs from which we can find the opening capital. Without the opening capital, we cannot prepare the balance sheet under the final accounts. Okay, so these are all some hints I have given for the purpose of revising it. So better prepare well and write the test. Okay, thank you. எவ்வளோ நிமிஷம் ஓடிட்டு 12 நிமிஷம்